Hello, chemistry students. You are here hopefully to practice some more carbon-14 dating problems to see some different varieties and some other different things that carbon-14 dating has helped clear up. What you're looking at right here is a portrait that was originally sold in the late 90s for about $22,000. The buyer thought it might have been mislabeled, did a bunch of research, including carbon-14 dating on the deer skin that this chalk design of this beautiful lady was done on. And it dated to the 1490s, which, based on a lot of other evidence, it happens to, according to most scholars now today, be a Da Vinci, worth now $160 million. So carbon-14 dating can be useful. Let's move on and let's take a look at what we're going to be doing in this video. So what we're planning on here is to look at some more examples of how to use your data table to solve simple carbon-14 dating problems. I'm going to start with one here. This is something probably not a lot of you are aware of. There used to be a bird called a moa that lived on the island of New Zealand. Actually, there were several species of it. They were quite large, bigger than an ostrich, and they were overhunted by the local tribesmen, and they went extinct around 1300 sometime. But here we have a claw that was found recently that was in a cave, and it was a mummified claw of one of these birds. So I don't know what they're going to do with that, but it was 3,300 years old according to carbon-14 dating. One of the things that I find interesting is that we do still have some interesting things out today that we call anachronisms, out of time. These are some organisms you might recognize from Timothy Christian School here, the Osage oranges. Those trees were going extinct when the European settlers arrived. Why is that? Well, the animals that used to eat those things whole, squirrels eat them up in tiny bits now and wreck the seeds inside, but the animals that used to eat those whole are gone. So what were those animals? Those were probably mammoths and mastodons, similar to the Kentucky coffee tree. These beans, nobody eats those anymore. California condors, another anachronism, just barely hanging on because it was used to, we think, eating large carcasses of animals thousands of years ago, and those animals are now extinct. And so these guys happen to just be barely hanging on because they were able to get access. They lived by the ocean, and they were able to get access to some of the large fish and things that would wash up on shore. And now, thankfully, they're being conserved. Let's look at a problem here. So here we have this frozen wolf puppy that was found in Siberia just in, I want to say 2018, 2019, somewhere in there. Beautifully preserved, and it has 1/8 of its original carbon-14 remaining. How are we going to figure out how old that thing is? Well, let's build our data table. So we're going to take our data table here, and we start it out just like we start out all these carbon-14 dating problems. And we need to now run our fractions down here all the way down to 1/8, which matches the wolf puppy approximately. So we're going to build our first half-life at 1/2 of what we had left. We're going to then move downward to 1/4 of what we had left. Remember, again, adding 5,700 years each time here. These are going to go down by 1/2 each time. These are going to go down by 1/2 each time. So we are not yet at 1/8. We're going to have to take this 1/4 and have it yet again, and that will take us through a third half-life. And so now we're at 1/8 of the original remaining carbon-14, and by adding 5,700 years to that, we find out this wolf puppy was probably around 17,100 years old. Okay. Now I'd like to have you try maybe one of these problems. So if we have a frog in amber that is dated at 22,800 years old, can you tell me two things? Can you tell me what fraction of carbon-14 would be left in that sample? And secondly, can you also tell me what its carbon-14 decay rate is? You can pause the video here if you'd like, and I will post the answers momentarily. So the answer to the first question should be 1/16 is left, and the answer to the second question is 0.96 decays per minute per gram. If you want to see how that was done, let's take a look at our chart here. So again, starting with the same basic principle with a living sample or just died sample, and we're going to go through 1 half-life. We're going to go through 2 half-lives. We're going to go through 3 half-lives. We're still not at 22,800 years. Again, we're going to have to add 5,700 years to that. Now we get our 22,800 years. Okay, and that will then tell us that we have 1/16 of our material left of our original carbon-14, and we're down to a decay per minute per gram of 0.96. Okay, so that was 2 more examples of carbon-14 problems that you might see in your homework. We learned how to do a few more examples, and I will be posting next a video that will be about an advanced topic, and you're going to learn a little bit about a frozen man named Ötzi. This is Overlord. Over and out.